Christian View, where today we're talking about parenting in the day of social media and how some parents choose to use social media as forms of punishment for their children. Is that good or bad?
Yes.
Bad? Good. Good.
You know, parents, we have to. I mean,
I don't know.
I think so. I've actually used it, and it's worked for me. You know, I know you have to have a different opinion.
What did you do? How did you use that?
Well, my son was, and I've said it in an earlier segment, but my son was doing some things or looking at some things that he shouldn't have. And I had one of my police, social media police tell me, and so I went on, and what I did was I made him go on and tell everyone how wrong it was of him to do that, and to let them know that he will not be on Facebook to be able to talk to them because he's on punishment. But that was just like, oh my God, you know, he just fell out and just, you know, I just ruined his world.
How old was he?
This was about maybe 2 years ago.
Okay,
you know?
so he's about 12. Maybe?
He's 14 now.
Did you hear about the dad? There was a dad that the daughter said some bad things about her parents on Facebook, and the dad got wind of it. So he went and made a little video and posted on Facebook and said what good parents they were. And he took a gun and he shot that laptop and let all of her friends see that you know, he was making a statement that you're not going to make fun of us on Facebook.
Okay,
we
that's
buy.
not so bad, and what you did is not so bad. But if you really go on and you see some of the parents that will go on and verbally attack their kids on Facebook and say, you know, and really on their page where their friends see it. You know, it's never good to shame your child, and it's never good to make them feel inadequate or inferior to others because they deal with enough in this day and time.
We're making their kids stand on busy street corners holding signs saying, one girl, I let boys in my room at 3 a.m. or one 13-year-old, I smoke pot, I thought I was cool, I am not. You know, that is
Just stand there
serious
all
shame.
It is.
I think they would get a lot further if they just took the Facebook away from them.
Right.
For putting the things out there or doing the things. You know, usually they would take our what? Take the phone away?
Yeah.
Well,
Take
one
the
dad
car
wanted to
away?
teach his daughter a lesson. She had on the really shorty shorts, and she refused to take them off. And the dad went upstairs, cut off his blue jeans all the way up, and then went out to eat with the daughter. And she was not wanting to go in, but he was trying to teach her a lesson that it does not look good on me, and it doesn't look good on you.
Okay, so that was funny. I just think there's
I bet
a line.
the girl didn't think it was funny.
She probably didn't think it was funny, and I don't think I don't think it was necessary. I mean, I think that
y'all, you know, I mean, they'll get away with stuff. I mean, you know, just like you were talking about the phone, did we not find a way to get on that phone? Did we not find a way to take that car? You know, I mean, children, they find a way to do the things that they want to do. So, I mean, I think for some parents, it's just, you know, in today's time, you know, we're looking for, you know, some extreme ways of dealing with our children.
I don't think it should be extreme at all. I think that you should, I think we can punish them without humiliating them, without embarrassing them.
I think humiliation sometimes goes a long way.
It's just like, you know, what I was saying.
don't forget it,
that
do they?
when parents say shame on you to a child, you know, you're really speaking shame on that child, and you're going to reap what you sow. You shame a child, and that's going to come back on you. And one way or the other, I believe that that's very damaging.
Well, I can tell you that I carried it for 30 years. I had a lot of things that happened to me in my childhood, and not to go into details, but I dealt with a lot of shame and self-condemnation. I carried it until I was 48 years old. I spent the last 2 years in counseling dealing with things from my childhood, things that I had carried for years that were just really difficult for me, and they had actually affected my spiritual life. I was very close to the Lord, but I really thought that was going to heal me, and He does heal me, but I had to actually go and process those things that I had witnessed and I had actually had happen
being
with me.
humiliated? Was it from humiliation?
Yeah,
public
partly.
humiliation?
It was partly things that I witnessed and partly things that I experienced, some abusive, you know, things that I had gone through.
What's the balance that can be brought to that with the humiliation issue? You know, I might, you know, get my children, but, you know, we talk to them a lot too. So, you know, when we discipline them, we have a long talk afterwards. You know, we're not those parents that just discipline and walk away. And I think sometimes that's where children get lost when you do that and they don't understand, you know, why, or, you know, why would you do that? You know, why would you go to that extreme? But then, you know, you've done that, you've disciplined them, then you take the time to talk to them and make sure they're understanding why you did what you did. Yeah, and I think it makes a difference.
I wonder if some of these parents that are shaming their kids, like on Facebook, maybe think that they're being creative, or, you know, this is kind of a new modern way of discipline. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what they're
working.
this is the last straw. They're getting
possibly.
desperate, and they're thinking maybe if I put this out there, that will curb them.
get their
Don't, but
attention.
maybe not.
It's
Maybe
hard.
they're
I mean, think about it. Your children, they're looking at things that, you would just never think
Yeah.
they
I'm
could look
telling
at.
you.
So pull them in the room and have a talk with them,
Absolutely.
and sit them down and take a necessary discipline, but don't go, and give them something that they're going to have to process later on. And we're all individual. We're made differently. Some kids can handle it better than others. Some kids,
Yeah.
when they get shamed, they're just devastated.
Right.
And they never get over it.
And that it takes. And
I think we do have to be very, very careful about a funny kind of what
Has
you're
to be
doing,
Yeah.
and then something that is damaging for life.
Yeah. Well, and you're teaching indiscretion. If you're showing that child I'm being indiscreet, then they think there's no boundaries for them to use discretion or be discreet.
You're
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
The other thing
That's
is putting those
good.
boundaries up front. Children need to know what the consequences are going to be. If you do this, then I'll do this. There doesn't need to be some surprise that I did this and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, look what my parent did. I know that
So you
happens
got to
sometimes.
set those boundaries up front when
You
your child
do.
gets Facebook.
Yeah.
This you can put on there. this you cannot.
can't.
But guess
It's
what?
all
They will
communication.
cross
They're
those
gonna
boundaries
push
every
it.
time.
They will.
I mean,
Then if they know what their punishment is, and then they receive it.
well, it's not
and
like they're
that's
sitting
better.
there waiting for it. Okay, I crossed that boundary.
No.
Now they're ready for that punishment. Right? Let's go. Let's
You got me on
go.
Facebook, but you're not going to get me on Twitter.
They're smarter than us. That's what it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
I do think a key thing you said, letting them know up front, if you violate Facebook or if you violate whatever, there's going to be consequences.
It's gonna be
That's
taken
something
away.
you're doing in the privacy
that's
of your
true. That's
home
yes,
and
yeah.
not
I agree.
publicly.
Right.
And so I think we've got. Kids really need boundaries.
They gotta have 'em.
And so I
Lord.
think set those boundaries up for
Yes.
them, and instead of, like you said, then after the fact, then shaming them. That is not great parenting at all.
No, and then you punish them, and then I know you do this, Elise. I don't even question that, but y'all communicate well. We've talked about that before, and we've talked about how important communication is. But communicating with your child why you had to do what you had to do, and then praying with them.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I remember mine. And they would make me so mad that it was so hard to communicate.
And take a break. When you get ready to punish, you don't punish out of reaction or out of anger. You take a break and you settle down, and then you go
Ideally.
back.
Ideally.
But you have to.
In a perfect world.
Okay, but then you just learn to have that, consistent pattern in your life. If you feel yourself flooding and getting all upset,
Seeing something on Facebook and you wasn't
say,
expecting it.
y'all go to your room, sit
Woo-hoo.
there and think about
Give
what
me a
you've
minute.
done.
Give
I'll
me a
give
minute.
you
Yeah.
20 minutes.
I gotta make sure I'm
Give me
getting
a
this right.
day.
Yeah.
I'll take a day.
Honestly, ladies, it takes 20 minutes. When you get stressed or have anxiety, there's a chemical in your brain that dumps, and you really can't think straight.
I believe
And so
that.
don't act at that point in time. It takes 20 minutes for that to settle down.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. That's good.